Let's get physical. It's Jordan here with January's PlayStation and Xbox physical releases. It may be a bit chilly in the northern hemisphere right now, but these games will warm you up nicely. Like last time, this was researched, written and edited by international mystery man Tim. I am just lending my voice to this video. Everything is on him. If you want this series to be successful, please leave a like and a vaguely relevant comment so that Mr. Algorithm will get a scent of it, okay? Let's dive in to January. Ys Memoire, The Oath in Felghana, is releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 7th for PS5 and Switch, a remaster of a remake. This started off as 1989's Ys 3 Wanderers from Ys before being remade in 2005 as Ys The Oath in Felghana, and now remastered as Ys Memoire, The Oath in Felghana. Are you following? Featuring new artwork for character portraits, a remastered soundtrack, and new voice acting, it's an incredibly well-regarded entry in the long-running action RPG series from Falcom. The Oath in Felghana is considered to be one of the best entries in the franchise, making it a perfect pick for veteran fans or those curious to try the series for the first time, especially since it's on the shorter runtime end compared to some of the lengthier entries. It's going to be available in a standard edition or a refined edition, which includes a soundtrack CD, an acrylic diorama keychain set, a set of 4 postcards, and a screen cleaner cloth, and probably a small bottle of brandy. That's what refined says to me. I don't know about you. And if you are a refined person and you want to own it or any of the games in this episode, please consider purchasing them via the link in the description and pinned comment. You can grab most of the games from VGP, who are a fantastic company with good prices and free worldwide shipping on orders over $60 American. It helps me out so much and I greatly appreciate it. Like, the ad revenue won't pay for what I want to pay Tim for this amount of work, so I greatly appreciate the support. Truck and Logistics Simulator, releasing physically in North America on January 14th for PlayStation 5 and Switch. Already released in Europe back in 2023 on the PS5, PS4 and Switch. For those who love German work simulators and have enjoyed LARPing as a truck driver specializing in load securing and deliveries during the Christmas break, here is more for you. Jordan, do not insert any childish jokes about big loads. You're too old for that. Wait, what? If you don't enjoy simulator games though, there's probably nothing here that will tempt you. Beyond the Ice Palace 2 is releasing physically in Europe on January 16th for PS5 and Switch. Developed by French studio Storybird and published by P-Cube, this is a sequel to 1988's Beyond the Ice Palace, which was released for Amiga, Amstrad, Atari ST, Commodore 64, and the ZX Spectrum, owners of which are still waiting for the game to load to this very day. Will the 37-year wait yield a worthy sequel? Well, there's not a lot of excitement surrounding this one yet, but it could be one to watch, featuring a violent pixel graphic art style that leans more towards classic-vania than, say, Metroidvania. Is this the break from roguelites and Souls-like that people have been after? Maybe. Tales of Grace's F Remastered is releasing physically in North America on January 17th for PS5 and Switch, while Europe is getting those plus a PS4 release and even Xbox, which VGP will be carrying if you live in North America and you want those. With a full house on this one, is this remaster worth picking up? Early indications suggest that it could be a good one, unlike the rather disappointing and poorly handled remaster of Symphonia. This features graphical upgrades, quality of life improvements such as destination icons, a new dash button, quest markers, encounter toggles, autosaves, skippable cutscenes, and all manner of modern gamer features. And it also includes most of the previously released DLC. A classic action RPG series developed by Namco's Tales Studios, Tales of Grace's F is widely regarded as one of the best entries in the series. With a seemingly competent remaster effort, this is one that may be worth a double dip even if you owned it back in the day. Dynasty Warriors Origins is releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 17th for PS5 and Xbox Series X, a new mainline entry in the Dynasty Warriors franchise. There's quite a lot of excitement about this one from the Dynasty Warriors community, with lots of new innovations and ideas alongside returning mechanics. One thing that seems to be controversial though is that it is single player only with no multiplayer announcement, at least not so far. There is a significant focus on the storytelling within the Three Kingdoms period period, so yeah, you'll know if this title interests you or not, but if you've never dipped your toes into a Misu game before, this could be a good opportunity, with the developers stressing that it is an accessible title for newcomers both in playstyle and narrative. Synduality Echo of Ada is releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 24th for the PS5. Synduality Echo of Ada, I don't know what it is an online sci-fi extraction shooter developed by Game Studios Inc. and published by Bandai Namco. What the hell does extraction shooter? Is it like a bullet hell reverse osmosis or something to do with dentistry? Who knows? A single player mode is available, but there doesn't seem to be much priority for that. The visuals look intriguing and the art style is quite solid, but the loot boxes and in-app purchases feel somewhat like a mood killer. Will this be the next big PvP hit? I doubt it, but if the aesthetic appeals to you and you're bored of the slew of hero shooters, this one may be worth checking out. However, I suspect a free-to-play model is coming soon, if I'm being honest. Neptunia Riders vs. Dogoos is releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 24th for the PS5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. This is a bike action game in the Hyper Dimension Neptunia series. It was poorly received upon its Japanese launch and has a runtime of like 3 hours or something, which the price tag seems far too steep for, making it only appealing to only the most hardcore of Neptunia fan. With cancelled swimsuit DLC on Nintendo Switch and a price twice that of the Japanese launch, I don't think they're catering to their fanbase very well with this one. Cuisineer is releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 28th for the PS5, Switch, and Xbox Series X. Developed by Battle Brew Productions and published by Marvelous, this is one for fans of cozy gaming. It's a food-focused roguelike flavored dungeon crawler that seems to have been well received by those who enjoy more casual, grindy games. While it may not be top of everyone's cozy list, it may be worth a look if you finished your Rune Factories and your Farm Magias. I mean, yeah, it's the Christmas holidays. Of course you finish your Farm Magia cheese while watching The Great Escape on TV. There's also a collector's edition available in North America containing an art book, soundtrack CD, and a face towel. Darksiders 2 is releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 28th for PS5 and Xbox Series X. The edgy alleged Zelda beta returns for another re-release. It's already widely available on several platforms including the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and the Nintendo Wii U. This is a remaster of the 2012 original, which was one of the most expensive video games ever developed at that time. Not a series that ever appealed to me, but I know there are lots of fans. So if you've long sold off your Wii U copy and fancy another visit, or if you're just intrigued by the title, then this remaster of a remaster could very well be worth a remaster. I mean, a look. Sniper Elite Resistance. This has a two-part release schedule, releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 28th for the PS5 and Xbox Series X for the deluxe version, while the standard version is releasing 2 days later on January 30th for PS5, Xbox Series X, and additionally the PlayStation 4. So what is the difference between the two releases? Well, 2 days early access and maybe season pass? I don't know. Admittedly biased, I'm more of a silent scope fan, but these games do seem to have their audience. If you're hankering for some realistic World War II sniping action and the idea of paying more for 2 days early access, if that excites you, then look no further. Although you're looking through a scope, so one would assume you want to be looking further. What a conundrum. Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero, is releasing physically in North America and Europe on January 30th for PS5, PS4, and Switch. This is the latest Nippon Ichi tactical RPG, a sequel to the fantastic Phantom Brave, which was in 2004 and ported to various systems before being remastered for the Switch in 2021. There is a bit of buzz around this one for fans of tactical RPGs, as it's a sequel to a classic. If you love Disgaea, you will feel right at home with this release. The updated look could be divisive, as you may either enjoy the revamped art or miss the pixel art, because I miss it. I mean, let's be real. It looks worse than the original, but that is the era of gaming that we're in a nutshell. I'm sure the game will be a lot of fun and a welcome return to the Phantom Brave series. Witchspring Arc Collector's Edition is releasing physically in North America on January 31st for PS5 and Switch. This is for the collector's editions only. The regular release was available last year. It includes outer box, that's always nice, a Pieberry figure, the physical game, an OST download voucher, a hardcover art book, and a new costume, Silver Rose set for Pieberry to download voucher thingamabob. A fun little RPG with charming visuals. If you're a huge fan or fancy the extras, or if you're just merely curious, it may be worth a look. Honkai Star Rail Trailblazer Edition is releasing physically in North America, Japan, and Asia on January 30th for PS5. Honkai is a free-to-play online game with a huge cult following, developed by Chinese mega-hit developers MiHoYo. This edition is primarily for collectors, as there's not a huge incentive to own this on a disc since it's an online-only title with zero preservation value. Included in this pack is the game disc, a gilded holographic character card set, an exclusive PS5 holographic Chibi Trailblazer keychain ×2, an exclusive PS5 postcard, and an in-game redemption code. What for? Who knows? For those in Europe eagerly awaiting this, you're gonna have to wait a little longer, as it's due sometime in the spring. Spirit Mancer is releasing physically in Europe on January 31st for PS5 and Switch. There's no sign of a North American retail release, but it is available to order on VGP. This title from Thai developers Sunny Syrup Studios is a deck-building 2D hack-and-slash game that started as a Kickstarter project and is already available digitally. The game has garnered mostly positive reviews, though there is some negative reception about how the DLC was handled. It has a certain look to it that unfortunately is becoming generic in the indie sphere nowadays, but it's clear that a lot of love has gone into its creation. Okay, now a roundup of games that may have released last month in one region, but now is appearing in another region this month. Or perhaps it got pushed back with a little bit of a delay. Just a quickie, okay? Little Big Adventure Twinson's Quest released last month in Europe, but is now available in North America. The Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 Remake, and 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. This released last month in Europe, but will be available in North America this month on PS5, some phenomenal reimaginings of the classics. Mortal Ragas Rage released last month in Europe, but is now available in North America on PS5 and Switch. A fun-looking little Metroidvania, hasn't made a huge splash as of yet, but perhaps a US and Steam release this month will change that. Read Only Memories Neurodiver released last month in Europe, but is now available in North America on PS5 and Switch. It's a disappointing sequel that had a lot of promise, but it does have its fans, and if that's you, then, this edition may be worth a look. Alright, the limited low print releases. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Pre-orders for this are ending at Limited Run Games on January 12th, and this is for the PlayStation 4, a classic AM2 fighter. This version contains a reversible cover in this remaster of a classic 3D fighter with online features. It comes in a standard, classic, collector's edition, with the classic including a soundtrack CD, and the collector's edition containing a soundtrack CD, an art book, a commemorative coin, a certificate of authenticity just in case you thought they were cheating you, but they're not. There's a little certificate to say it's real, and you also get a Akira statue. Virtua Fighter 2, again, Limited Run Games. Pre-orders for this are ending on January 12th for Xbox Series X/1. Some would argue this is even more of a classic AM2 fighter. It comes in a standard or classic version containing a retro-styled long box, a commemorative coin, and an art card. Do you get a certificate? I'm worried it's going to be fake. Yakuza 3 Remastered. Pre-orders for this are ending on January 5th, so maybe by the time this goes out, for PS4 and Xbox One. This is next in line in Limited Run's rather pointless physical re-releases, because they have one already. The LRG version comes in a standard or classic edition, which includes a soundtrack CD, an acrylic standee, and a Yoshida battling center pin, and character cards. It's Yakuza 3, an absolutely brilliant gem of a game, and although it is a wonderful game, this Limited Run Games edition is only worth it if you play exclusively on Xbox or are collecting for the sake of collecting. Do yourself a favor and buy the much cheaper Yakuza Remastered collection for PS4, which contains Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, and it's really cheap. It's like $20 every time it's on sale. Panzer Paladin. I don't know why I said Paladin like that way. Paladin. Pre-orders for this are ending on January 12th for PS4 and Xbox One. Panzer Paladin is a retro-inspired action platformer that pays homage to classic 8-bit and 16-bit games. It's become quite pricey on the Switch, so if you missed out on that, you may want to pick up this PS4 Xbox version, and this edition comes with the reversible cover. 8-Bit Adventures 2. Pre-orders for this are ending January 12th for PS5 and Switch. 8-Bit Adventures 2 is a retro-style RPG that combines turn-based combat and colourful pixel art, as it's an homage to the classics and supposedly pretty good all things considered. Gimmick 2. Pre-orders for this are ending January 19th for PS5 and Switch. Gimmick 2 is the sequel to the beloved cult classic Gimmick, originally released on the NES. This platformer features a unique gameplay mechanic where players control a character who can throw a star-shaped projectile to defeat enemies and solve puzzles with, retaining the charming art style of its predecessor while including new levels, mechanics, and challenges. This comes in a standard or collector's version, which contains an original soundtrack CD, a Yumitaro vinyl figure, and a light-up star and remote, an Ohagi squishy, an art book, and a sticker sheet. You gotta get your sticker sheet, guys. Slipstream. Pre-orders for this are ending January 19th for PS5 and Switch. Slipstream is a retro-style racing game that draws inspiration from classic arcade races with a heavy reliance on the retro look. This comes in a standard or deluxe edition, which contains a plastic case, a soundtrack CD, a double-sided poster, acrylic standee, and enamel keychain. Freedom Planet 2. Pre-orders for this are ending January 19th for PS5 and Switch. The sequel to the original Freedom Planet, a platformer heavily inspired by classic Sonic games. This series has a large cult following, even from non-furries. That's how good it is. This comes in a standard or deluxe edition, which contains a plastic case, a soundtrack CD, a double-sided poster, and 4 lenticular pins. Killing Time. Resurrected. Pre-orders for this are starting on January 3rd and ending February 2nd for PS5 and Switch. Killing Time Resurrected is a remastered version of the first-person shooter originally released for the 3DO. This remastered edition features updated graphics, improved controls, and enhanced audio. Alright, the import releases. The links down below for these are for Play Asia, and if you click the Play Asia links, you can also get 5% off with my discount code Jordan24, which might actually have expired by the time this video goes out. If it has expired and there's a new code, just check the links down below, check the pinned comment. My new code will be there, whatever it's going to be. I don't know, it'll be a surprise to me. Freedom Wars Remastered is releasing physically in Japan and Asian regions on January 9th for PS5 and Switch. If you want a physical copy, this will be an essential import, as in the West will only be getting a digital release. This is a remaster of a Vita game from 2014, developed by Dimps, a studio made up of ex-SNK and Capcom devs, and published by Sony back on the Vita. Dimps has negotiated the rights to have this remaster published and released by Bandai Namco. This game was quite well regarded back in the day, not a mainstream or breakout success, at least not in the West, but it did develop a slight cult following. In Japan, it was wild. It's a Monster Hunter style action RPG set in a dystopian sci-fi setting where you play as a prisoner in a panopticon, thank you for writing that, Tim, attempting to earn your freedom through completing missions. A single-player story mode is available, as well as multiplayer PvP and traditional co-op. On the PS5, it's said to be running at 4K 60, with some early reports indicating performance struggles on the Switch, but we don't know for sure. So if you're on the fence about which platform to choose, that could help you decide. Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist is releasing physically in Japan and Asian regions on the 23rd of January for PS5 and Switch. This is a sequel to the absolutely fantastic Metroidvania, Ender Lily's Quietus of the Night. This long-awaited sequel will finally be available physically as an import. However, although there is no confirmed date, it does seem to be receiving a Western physical at some point later this year in some capacity, but we don't know. We just need to wait. So maybe hold off importing if you'd prefer a Western version. However, this Japanese and Asian release does have full English support on the disc and cartridge, so you may want it early. This has been in early access on Steam since March last year, and the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. This will be an essential purchase for many, as it looks beautiful and plays well according to reviews so far. Okay, just a quick roundup of the other imports. Here are some imports with existing Western versions. And here are some imports in January that you do not want to really care much about because they don't have English. And there we have it. Thanks so much to Tim for doing the work on this one, and thanks to you for watching all the way through. That really helps. I want to know who the legends are. Please leave me an emoji. Sadly, there's no forklift emoji to show me your big loads, but how about a truck or lorry emoji, depending on where in the world you are, truck, lorry. Special thanks, as always, to my executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Raven Knight, Fawn Metal Luna, Issa, Vey, Offphone, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Feig, Josh Foot, Ishin, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Husway and Horworth, Wixit, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, and Adamantium. Have a good day, guys. Take care.